Leverage is getting rebooted as IMDb TV's first major original series. I believe IMDb TV is owned by Amazon, and Amazon, HBO Max, Disney Plus, Hulu, I think not Facebook. No, they're doing gaming. Facebook gaming is going to be a big thing because Mixer was a bunk. So, anyways, with the show Leverage, it's going to be rebooted, and I am a big fan. I may not be the biggest of fans, but I've binge watched the entire show from start to finish about 3 to 5 times. The latest time that I watched it, I wasn't watching it. I was listening to it in the background while I was playing City of Heroes, which is a free MMORPG you can play online. I highly recommend going and downloading City of Heroes Homecoming. There's some instructions of how to download that. It's free. I love it. It's fun to play. And we'd love to have you. One thing with the show Leverage is I think every single actor is awesome. Every single person that they've cast did a phenomenal job in the scene, in the show. And there's one issue that I've always had in the back of my mind of if they could just change one thing, even though it's riddled with flaws, stereotypes, horrible writing tropes from time to time, which one was it? When Nathan Ford was going in the last season of Leverage, Nathan Ford was going after Big Lots or something. It's their Walmart in their world, and he was parked out in an RV with Elliot coming to him to try to get the CEO or manager to come out and spy on them. That was their plan. Nathan Ford always is that very, yeah, I'm talking like this, yeah, type of manager, type of boss guy. He's always loud, obnoxious, he's annoying. He plays that role. It gets annoying from time to time, but that's the role he's trying to play for the villains in each episode. So it's one of those things that I overlook it because I think it works well in the entire show. Every single actor does phenomenal. Elliot, one of the best scenes, I think, from him would be when he's having a conversation with Parker while Parker's on the bench. It's in the last season, and again, almost everything's in the last season. Elliot is they're all 5 together out on a bench talking about how they're trying to go after Damian Monroe. Spoiler warning for anybody who has not watched the show. I'm going to be going into spoiler territory, so if you don't want to know any spoilers, please go watch the entire series and then come back. So it's a great show. It's a great series. I highly recommend it. But with Elliot, he was having a conversation with Parker. Parker was on a bench. Elliot was standing, and Parker was asking what Elliot did when he was working with Damian Monroe. And Elliot mentioned that the worst thing he has ever done, he's done for Damian Monroe. And I don't want to tell you, Parker, because if I did, you wish that I would have never told you or something. And I think that scene was amazing. The delivery was awesome. Parker was very receptive to that. Parker has her moments when they're trying to, I think it's in the first season, where Parker is trying to help an orphan and then stumbles upon an entire organization with the Russians dealing arms, and she finds like 20, 50 orphans, and the entire team says, we can't save all of them, we have to go back. And in that scene, she has we have to save them, that's what we do. And even at the end of the episode, she's about to be fired upon with fake rifles, fake auto rifles, and she covers the kids with her body. Like she does that. It's like, oh, wow, okay. Her facial expression was on point. Everything was great. Alec Hardison, the best episode he's ever, that topples every single person in the entire show, is when he was in a grave, in a casket, and Parker was on the phone with him trying to find his location. Alec Hardison, the actor, and we'll get into the actors' names in a bit, he absolutely nailed it. His crying. I tear up almost every single time. I stop what I'm doing, everything that I'm doing. I make certain that there's time that I can just I can indulge in that one scene because I can feel his acting. It's amazing how he can act that way. I always love that one scene. I mean, I always cry. Like, I feel bad. Like, oh, I feel so sad. But it's such great delivery. I felt it. I love those moments. Again, there's like two others. There's one when the entire team is trying to get the heart. Somebody blackmailed a nurse to take a heart that was going to be delivered to like an 8 or 11-year-old kid who needed it, that needed the transplant from a billionaire dying person. And what they did is they tried to hack the airport so they could try to get that heart from that one guy back to that kid. And Alec Hardison had to get through level 3, and there's 3 levels before you can actually get to the watchtower that guides any and all pilots and any and all planes to where they need to be. Well, Alec Hardison can't get through, and Elliot stole the wrong ID. I mean, it was a female but black. So it's just it's like, you do what you can. Someone who looks like you, that's all you really need. And he didn't steal it because it was black. It was just the only person that he found that was at level 3. So, again, you learn to adapt. And what he did, Alec Hardison, he went over to the people to reset his name. And when they found out that it was actually a woman that was on the picture, Alec said to everybody, it's like, what? What do you want? It's like, yeah, I know. I changed. I changed, but I changed for myself. And he acted like a trans, acted like he was a trans person, and his delivery on one line always cracks me up. It's like, yeah, I know I was Brittany or Bethany or whatever. It's like, I know I was Tina, but now I'm Frank. And then it's just that line. It's like, I know I was Tina, but inside I felt like I was Frank. And he goes, it's just the delivery. And he looks at them with such seriousness and pizzazz. And it's like, hey, you know what? I am who I am. And it's hilarious. Makes everybody uncomfortable. It's awesome. It's hilarious. And I think the third, but there's a lot of like moments with that where he was playing the violin. It's more of a notable one. It's more of I wouldn't put in my top 10, but I love that. I love that episode. But I guess the third one that I love about Alec Hardison is which one was it? It was in the last episode when the same episode with Elliot and Parker talking about the worst thing that Elliot has ever done in his life. He's done for Damian Monroe. In that exact same episode, Alec Hardison. I think it's not Hardiman. It has to be Hardison. Yeah, Hardison. Alec. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. Doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong. Let's just look down here if I'm right. Like, I should be right. I should know who. Yeah, Alec Hardison. There we go. And Alec Hardison, he was tied to a chair, handcuffed to a chair, and then he was pushed into the pool by Damian Monroe while Elliot Spencer and Damian Monroe talked business. And Alec had to escape the chair himself. Now, the reason that he had to, he described how he escaped that's absolutely ridiculous. But what I loved about it is that when he got out of the pool, he was still in character as a buyer for other people. And he took out because his entire body is soaked, all the things that he has is damped and soaking. He pulls out a handkerchief or something, and he starts patting his already drenched face. And Damon Monroe is laughing and chuckling. And it's just like, the whole scene comes together because of Alec's or what is his name? The actor's name. Aldous, hopefully I'm saying that right, Aldous Hodge. Aldous' performance in that scene, that was awesome. Again, it just fit. It worked phenomenally. But with all the actors themselves, there's one thing that I always wish that they could have done with the entire show. And it's no knock to Alec Hardison or Aldous Hodge's ability, or what he brought to Leverage, or how well he performed in each and every single scene. I think he was miscast. It's like the same actor for... One second, let me find him. I looked up 30 black, hot black. I just put in top black male actors, and this is what the first one that came up with. Her interest. Well, let's go through this. Like, Michael B. Jordan, I think, is an okay actor. I don't think he's bad. I just think that there's certain roles that he might be best suited for with either how he acts in each role that he plays. Let's go down the list. I don't know. There's very few people that I actually know because I only know pretty much anybody who's older than 40. Anybody who's younger than 40, I have no idea what their names are. It's like, are you Michael Keaton? That's the only guy I know. Are you Morgan Freeman? I don't know anybody else. Jim Carrey? Oh yeah, who was that guy? So I'm great with faces, not names. So if I can see your face, like, where was he from? I haven't seen those movies. I've seen him for... Oh, no. I think I've seen him in a... Michael Lee? I think I've seen him, but not in these things. Definitely Jaden Smith, Will Smith's son. And just gonna, if I try to figure out any of these, it's like I haven't seen a lot of movies. There's a lot of movies I just don't care to, like 90210. I don't care about that movie. Oh, he was in Hunger Games: Mockingjay Part 1. Who did he play? Oh, I'd love to know that. Evan Ross. I'll look that up some other time. Nah. Let me do that right now. Okay, one of the reasons why I didn't recognize him is that when Katniss in the movie The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 is when Katniss's sharpshooter squad 451 was selected a mission to go to the Capitol. The TV crew came along to continue to film propagations for the war. At one point during the mission, the team was forced, So he was part of that team, and that team, except for the, spoiler warning, the guy with the staff, let's just say that, and the woman with the shaved side of the head, shaved hair on the side of the head, like, those are the only two people. Oh, and then Friggy, I think that's his name, the guy that was that his tongue was cut out or something, that he was a mute, and he communicated in sign language. I only know that guy because he was in Daredevil. It's just this guy was sort of a background guy. I guess he did. I guess he did well because he wasn't supposed to stand out, so he did well for what he did. So I applaud you on that. And then, of course, The Hunger Games Part 2 and Skate God. That kind of sounds cool. Kind of sounds like a cool anime. Shade Moss, so on and so forth. I think even and the reason that I also mentioned that I think Alec Hardison, or not Alec Hardison, I think that, what was his name? Aldous Hodge. Aldous Hodge, I think, was a miscast. Despite me even having praised him multiple times, I think he was a phenomenal additive to the entire section. But I think his character was just all over the place. I think that Tyler James Williams, even though he actually has the person who, I was looking through this earlier, young Chris Rock, Everybody Hates Chris. I've seen the show. I've seen him when he was younger. He actually has a much older face here. But maybe if him being younger, I would have loved to see that. I don't know when this photo was taken, but it was a 2008. Today is 2020. Maybe in around, 12 years ago. Holy crap. Maybe 12 years ago, I would have loved to see this guy be that actor. I would have loved to see that 12 years ago, because I think, really, 12 years ago is such a long time. Man, life is just going right on by. Or maybe this guy, but who was, or this guy, whoever this guy is, Roshan Figan. Hopefully that's how you pronounce it. Fegan? Roshan Fegan. I would have loved to see somebody like this guy, even though there's the stereotype of being a nerd. Again, the Alec Hardison, the character, he's a very dynamic person, and because of his great intelligence and his wonderful skill of communication that was brought about his nana, but his quote unquote grandmother, he was an orphan, I think, and took him in. I don't remember his history. so much, but he got that training, that experience when he was younger, like 13, 14, 15, to go and knock on people's doors. So he was really great at communication. There's a whole slew of things that are great about the character that I just don't think that Aldous Hodge could have done well with. This guy, Alfred Enoch. Hopefully that's how you pronounce the last name, but that's pretty cool, Alfred Enoch. That's pretty awesome. Oh, he played. Oh, I know this guy. I remember him in Harry Potter. The Death Eaters in the back. He looks familiar. I think he was in the last film, if not the second to last film. His face rings a bell. He's probably like 5 years younger looking than this. He's probably had the same face for the last 10, 12, 30 years. Then not that guy, not that guy. No, looks a bit effeminate. Yeah, he looks a bit more feminine. Is that just a little bit? But this guy, I was looking through this, Kyle Massey. He played in That's So Raven, the younger brother of Corey Baxter in the Disney show That's So Raven. And I think someone who looks like this would have translated a little bit better in the show, because I thought that Alec Hardison having his favorite drink be orange soda and gummy worms and so on and so forth, that's not a good diet to have that type of body. But there's some criticism of if Parker Elliott, the thief, if her diet, or just she loves and is addicted to sugar, how in the hell does she have a frame like the frame that she has? Now, that could be attributed to genetics, or maybe she's a late bloomer and about 20 years from now she's going to have diabetes or something. But it's just a mismatch. I would love to see somebody not fat, not somebody who wears like the nerdy glasses, but somebody who's a little bit more not, and this is going to sound racist, but someone who acts black. Again, in the show with Alec Hardison, with Aldous Hodge, there's a lot of moments where Aldous Hodge plays Alec Hardison being I'm a thug, or they're like, yeah, and it's like, well, that's sort of the gag that he's trying to play that. But I think he plays that way too much. I think, again, every single character from Elliot Spencer, Parker Elliott, Sophie Devereaux, Nathan Ford, and even all four of them, including the one lady that comes in, the Seven of Nines, or from Star Trek, whatever the actress's name is, they all have a lane that they stick in, and that's where their primary acting or their character is. They can branch off, they can evolve, but they sort of stay in this one area that helps. For me, familiarity, that when it comes time to act or play this role, you're not all over the place. You don't just get to change willy-nilly. Elliot Spencer is a tough guy, or maybe a bit more reserved. He doesn't just come out and he's, I'm so talkative about my feelings all of a sudden. It builds up to that. But from pretty much the first episode up until now, Aldous Hodge has played Alec Hardison all over the place. He's a thug, and he's like, oh yeah, and it talks in one way, and then he talks like a real geek and nerd in one section, in one scene, in one episode. But he's the same person, but not. He's too dynamic. I would have loved for the character to be pulled back a bit. I would have loved to see him stay in a role. You can even have him where he's playing a thug a bit, but that kind of contradicts not contradicts, but overlaps with Elliot Spencer's. So I think Alec Hardison should have just been somebody who was more reserved, or maybe not reserved, because if everybody's, so now I'm thinking about this, if he was to be more reserved, wouldn't he be more like Elliot Spencer? But if he was to be more like a thug, he would be like Elliot Spencer. So, again, now that I'm saying it out loud, I don't know if it would be a good idea to remove again, I don't want to remove or edit anything from Leverage 1. Okay? Everybody was who they are. I want to keep it. I don't want to edit anything. But if we were to change something before it came out, that's the one thing that I would have done. One thing that I wish for again, because they're going to be creating this reboot, I don't want them to change the characters. Even though I have some of my own personal issues with Alec Hardison's character, even though he had some dynamite, dominant, outstanding scenes episodes, especially the one when he took on the crew for the first time and led the group trying with the gold mine. That episode, he was very cocky, but he's been a cocky character, so it worked well. At the very end of the episode, Nathan Ford predicted that he would fail, and there's 3 things that would happen for them to succeed, and it does. And at the very last moment, the very last scene, is of Nathan Ford writing the review that Alec Hutton gave to the entire team. He wrote something down that seemed personal, seemed real, seemed sincere, and he gave it to Alec Hardison. And while Nathan Ford was walking away to go to his bedroom that was upstairs, Alec said to Nate, hey man, thanks. And it was just like that, a heartfelt scene that you could feel like he was trying and he failed miserably. But somebody who's been having multiple successful runs with an entire group said something that Alec needed to hear. Now, you can have some contradictions where I thought they were going to make Alec Hardison the leader because of like those type of moments where he's outstanding, he can do everybody's job, he's very well thought out, he can do this, this, and this. And then in the last episode, there's one moment where Nathan Ford says something to Parker Elliott, well, this Parker, so Nathan said to Parker, where Parker was like you don't think the way that I do, but the way that you think about it, you keep turning the knobs or the switches or something just like you would a combination safe. And she's really good at math, apparently. Like, okay, I've never seen how good she is at math, but she has very amazing talents. Like when she was sketching the guy's face, and everybody was, and she was like, "Yeah, I can do that. I thought everybody can do that." And then I think Alex said to her, like, "No, not many people can do this." And she like drew somebody's face from memory, and it was just phenomenal. And again, there's great moments and great scenes. I just wish that that Aldous Hodge, I think he was just a miscast for the role. I think Alec Hardison is a little bit all over the place. I think he plays too much into like, hey, I'm gangster, hey, look, Excuse me. Elliot, he's a country boy. He's not Southern, but he's definitely country, and he's definitely has that just natural affinity to ruggedism, whatever you want to call that. Parker is just nuts and insane, and she pulls off quirky wonderfully. I love the actress. Who's the actress? I don't know. The actress is Beth Gina. Oh wait, Gina Bellman. Okay, Beth Reesgraff is Parker. Gina Bellman is Sophie, I think. And I think Beth did a great job playing Parker in this thing. She played quirky well. When she needed to look beautiful, she looked beautiful. Absolutely stunning even. And even the times when she needed to look goofy or just had this natural affinity to being goofy or unaware or oblivious to social means, she pulled it off wonderfully. Elliot had that natural... I don't know if the actor... What's his name? Christian Kane, who was in the libraries, which I've always wanted to see that. The librarians. I've wanted to see that just because that Christian Kane was in it, but I don't know if I would enjoy it just because he's in it. So, I might at some point. But if we were to go into a list of who could cast who could play Alec Hardison other than Aldous Hodge, I think it would be Kyle Massey. You can still have that I don't like saying interracial, but it's intercolor relationship. I think that was pretty good. I think some of the things that they brought up were a bit off, like maybe sometimes every once in a while. Which episode was it? Like they were making. It's not coming to the top of my head, but there was an episode or two where they were trying to state a message. The reason I don't remember which episode it was. It wasn't interracial or anything. It was like I think a political message, but I might be wrong at that. I might have remembered it wrong. But keep it. It's wonderful. It adds to the dynamism. Dynamism. Is it dynamism? I think dynamism is the word. I'm gonna look that up. Dynamism. Dynamism. Yeah, that's the word. Dynamism philosophy. Define. Define dynamism philosophy. Philosophy of dominoes. The dominoes tipped over, and they do something. A theory that a phenomena can be explained as manifestations of force. Okay. Define dynamic sentiment. So it's just another word for dynamic, of relating to energy or to objects in motion. So the complexity, let's use that better. The complexity of all the characters relating to each other. I think the direction that they went with the show and Leverage, I don't know if I could do anything better than that. I could not. There's some tweaks on maybe each and every single episode, but the ridiculousness of doing some of the episodes is what made it amazing. When they tried to quote unquote steal the spruce goose, there was a lot of technology that wouldn't make sense, because if somebody's taking off in an airplane, the G-force in taking it off is something that you can't mimic. You can mimic everything else, but that's something that cannot be replicated from somebody who's been a pilot in other things. But one thing you can explain it away from, like a quote-unquote theory, is that when they were stealing the spruce goose in that episode, he was on an adrenaline rush. He had people shooting at him. So he had to get in that plane and he had to go, so his brain wasn't aware of, like, well, this can't be real because of all the things that have happened up to that moment. So I'm okay with that. I really am. It's like, it's ridiculous. It's outlandish. But it worked. So the entire show works, and all that stuff. And then I started realizing, in this episode, this article, the new 13-episode Leverage show will see most of the original cast return in some capacity. Notable absent from the list is Timothy Hutton, who previously starred as the lead in the 2008 series. He'll be replaced by Noah Weil as the lead of the new series. Weil is also set to direct 2 of the 13 episodes. And I was curious, like, I hate that. Don't recast the guy. Make a new character. That's the worst, again, that's the worst thing you can ever do, in my opinion. The CW Batwoman series that has been happening for the last, year, I hate the episode. I hate the show. But if you recast Batwoman, you have to do it within the first 2 episodes or so. You can't have 5 seasons and then create a new one. That's just my case. If you the best way, in my opinion, to honor the first series of Leverage, the first series of Leverage, is have him off doing stuff with Sophie Devereaux, or Sophie Devereaux coming back and Weil being someone who can relate. Maybe he is also a thief, or maybe he's a billionaire that they've befriended that is actually helping him, unlike the old billionaire at the end who worked with the enemy from season 1. Hope that made sense. It's that maybe he's a billionaire because they always go after the billionaires, but maybe Weil could be that actual good guy who is a billionaire. And it's like, well, that kind of throws that would be awesome. And then Sophie Devereaux having conversations with Timothy Hutton's character, Nathan Ford, while Nathan Ford is doing other things because he wants to live in a life of luxury, while Sophie Devereaux might make a guest appearance from time to time. I think that would respect the first Leverage. I think that would have some continuity. That would be magnificent for the continuity of the entire series. I think it would play out a little bit different because they always go after the billionaire. They always go after the rich person, and they're more often than not, 98% of the time, evil. But what if Weil, they're trying to go after him maybe for maybe all 13 seasons, but he's not as bad as it might appear. Maybe Weil has been going after the team but it was a miscommunication and they do it that way. I don't know, but maybe I think having him be the billionaire that's actually on the right side. Maybe he's been funding some of the. Maybe Weil has come in, and for the last 5 years, while the characters have been trying to take down those rich billionaires or the people in power, he's been helping the people to go to court or funding their medical treatments or something. And Weil has been doing that. Maybe not for everybody, but for every other person or something, or maybe one every 5 people, because again, it costs a lot of money and a lot of finances and resources. And you could do it that way. I think that would be the best way to do it. By still respecting both the character and not changing him. I hate it when you change a character's the actor of a character. It's, for me, every time that somebody changes the actor who's playing a character is like if Parker here, right in the middle, the thief, if she was replaced by Brie Larson. That would be horrible. It's just like, okay, even if she was good, if she was better, then it makes the entire series that I was watching questionable. It really does. In my mind, it's like, and if she's worse, more importantly, she's not the same character, and that's what goes in the back of my mind. Create a new character. There's no reason to remove it, and we'll get into Timothy Hutton because I actually did some research on that, and A, it sucks, and B, it sucks. And there's two paths and thought processes to why I said it that way. That with Noah Weil coming in, make him a character that everybody can maybe he's the good guy, but he hoodwinks the entire team until the very last episode, and then the entire team goes after him. Maybe he's been trying to help them and get resources to try to find them, so all the villains and all the enemies that the entire team has had over the years, over the last they've been absent for 7 years? It's been 7 years, I think, since the last 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. It's been 5 years, 2008 to 2012. 5 years, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I know, it's like, shouldn't it be 4? No, it's 5 because you also count 2008. 5 years that they've been doing things. And then, for 7 more years, they're not going to be coming out. Now, whether or not it's going to be coming out this year or next year, it's still about 7 years. And for that 7-year block, they could have had all these experiences and all these, and maybe they have actually have expanded into, what is it called? Leverage International. Maybe they have competition everywhere else, and everybody's wanting to get on the game and has their own group. Maybe Noah Weil could be a competitor who's trying to take out their group, the main Leverage group, not as trying to kill them, but replace them. And he's trying to replace them with better people or better plans than what Nathan Ford could do. And they're trying to bring in Nathan Ford, and he doesn't do it because again, Nathan Ford is a very smart 13 moves ahead player. So he always says, like, no, you have to figure it out because you have to. And maybe they communicate it very subtly, like, hey, can you come in, Nate? Or Sophie Devereaux says, like, Nathan, we need you. And it's a conversation that you can see the conversation happening through Sophie Devereaux's eyes and facial expressions, and you see, like, he said no, but it's maybe mentioned. You don't just dump you just don't dump the exposition. You don't dump the plot or narrative. You span it out. That could work. There's multiple ways that you could do that, but I'm always bothered by somebody going into the past and changing something for right now. So if there was a person, let's just say, let's get into Timothy Hutton now, because I could keep going on and on with different examples, but I think I made my point. Timothy Hutton, I was curious as to why he was not in it. I thought it was like maybe he's grown older, maybe he has gray hair, maybe he has gaps in his teeth now, maybe he's just not the same facial, maybe it's not an acceptable level as to how he aged, because I've seen him in a few other shows, and I think he's been balding a little bit, and maybe that's something that they don't really want to have. Maybe he wants to wear a wig or something. I don't know what the logistics about it, but I found an article, and it's pretty ridiculous. Not on just how silly it is, but it's let's read it. Timothy Hutton accused of raping 14-year-old girl in 1983. Whew, that's a lot to deal with. Let's exit out of you. Few words of Sonic. Oh, okay. Oscar winner Timothy Hutton, currently the star of the freshman Fox drama Almost Family, which I've never seen, has been accused of raping a 14-year-old girl in 1983. According to a report published online... Oh, and this entire article is by Variety. According to a report published online by BuzzFeed News, Sarah Johnston, who last year filed a criminal complaint against Hutton with the Vancouver Police Department, said she was assaulted by the actor while he was in town to shoot the film Iceman. I've never seen that one either. Johnston told the site that she was just 14 when she and two friends were invited to Hutton's hotel room. Okay, well, here's the question. I'm gonna make some dialogue that might get a lot of people upset and angry. I'm just gonna have to think through the entire process out loud. So, again, I might piss off a few people. Where she said she was raped and assaulted by both Hutton and who was then in his 20s and one of his friends. Johnston, now 50, said she didn't come forward until the hashtag or #PoundMeToo movement gained strength through strength because she didn't think anyone would believe her. Hutton denied the allegations to BuzzFeed, and in statement to the site contended he never met Johnston. What? Wait, Johnston with a T? Because there's Johnston with a T, Johnston with a T, and Johnson with an S only. No T in between the N and S. Okay, just misspelling, hopefully. Hutton denied the allegations to BuzzFeed, and in a statement to the site contended he never met Johnston, and called her story fabricated with patently false, scurrilous, and defamatory statements. The writers of the BuzzFeed article, whatever, currently work for Variety. Okay, so this is the biggest issue that I have. There's two sides of this. One, he did it. Two, he didn't do it. Okay? So let's go through the entire thing, because if he did it, that sucks. That's horrible. What needs for him to be not in work anymore, okay, for an action like that? But there's been a lot of false accusations, and it's why one of the reasons I just cannot get on board with the #PoundMeToo movement. I can't anymore, because there's been false accusation after false accusation. So I'm always, I'm going to side with a man because a woman has a lot more power in this entire culture. All you have to say is, he raped me. Now he, Timothy Hutton, is no longer a member of the rebooted Leverage cast, which, again, that's a huge, huge thing. Leverage, I'm assuming that IMDb or Amazon didn't want to have to deal with that, with Timothy Hutton's accusation, because of the issue. They didn't want to get in bed with him. Not joke not intended. But they didn't want to get in bed with him. They didn't want to deal with him because if these allegations were true, the entire show could be dead before it arrives. So it could be dead in production. Even though this is probably a multi-million-dollar investment that they're working on trying to get this working, that if Timothy Hutton's accusation is actually credible and actually was proven true, more importantly, was proven true, that would be even worse. But the issue is, just the accusation alone can strip you from your title, and even if Timothy Hutton was recused, I think that's the correct word, of whatever happened, that he was proven innocent, that he was not guilty of the actions, he was proven innocent, and I hate that in law where you're proven not guilty rather than innocent, that you're proven not guilty of the activities, he's still going to have the label of being accused of raping a 14-year-old. That's always going to now be over his head forever, for the rest of his life. Somebody accused of you, nobody cares of whether or not they actually did it. Boom, he has to have done it. That's what people are going to now push him away from work. Again, he could be. I'm not defending if he did. I don't know. I wish he didn't. That would change the entire my view of the original Leverage show. I might not watch it anymore if this allegation is true. I might, but it's just like I don't see myself. I don't know if I could. It's like I would want to because I've seen it 3 to 5 times. I enjoy the series. I think they do phenomenal things. I think they do a lot of phenomenal things. I think the things that are so bad about the show make it campy, make it fun, make it lighthearted. It's not a serious show. It's like when they're trying to do like, oh, he's hacking into the building or something. It's like, I got the lasers, Hardiman. Or it's like, I got the lasers and the video chaos, and they go back and forth. It's like, that's a ridiculous scene, but the ridiculousness up makes it awesome. Oh, is it Anthony Mackie? Yeah. I was also thinking about Anthony Mackie, the actor who played in in Marvel, the Marvel universe, playing the Falcon. What's his name? Captain America's right hand man in the sky. Anthony Mackie, I think, is a phenomenal person. Well, I think he's a great actor, and I think that he's pretty good in his roles. But the thing is, I don't think that he would be a good fit for playing Alec Hardison. A, I think he was probably a little bit too old to play the role, but B, it just wasn't a good fit. Again, you could be a great actor just like what Aldous Hodge was in the show. He was great in his acting roles, and he added to the scene in a lot of the scenes, but there's some scenes that I just wish he didn't play the way that he did it, or if they gave him the freedom to go in that direction, or whatever. It's just, again, I wish there was something better with Alec Hardison, but I think Aldous Hodge was phenomenal in that. But if Timothy Hutton did do it, that's going to change the entire. I don't know if I even want to watch the new one. Because if the old Leverage is now ruined for me, why would I get back invested into the second show? The second thing about that is, and again, I'm not the average person. The majority of people are just not going to care about the old Leverage, and they're just going to start with a new Leverage, even if Timothy Hutton is innocent of these allegations, and that bothers me, but, you can only control the things that you can control, so focus on doing those things. And that's a big issue for me, because pictures, Leverage revived, Timothy Hutton will not return. And I had to research, I didn't know that he was actually accused of that. The cult crime drama Leverage is coming back. This is from popculture.com. And how to track your chronos, I don't care. The cult crime drama Leverage is coming back. The series will be rebooted with the original creative team, Dean Devlin, John Rodgers, and Chris Downey, the original creators of the first 2008 Leverage, according to Deadline. Although Timothy Hutton will not be reprising his role, as he is currently facing sexual assault allegations, and that's the issue. He won't be coming in halfway through the series to do it. So he's been already nicked from the entire thing because of the accusations. One, the woman who is coming forward with it could have credibility on her side. The issue is that she waited, and I'm not bad-mouthing her. It's just it's been in 1983 in which the activity happened. She went to his hotel room with a couple of her friends has been accused of rape, according to Johnson told it when she was 14, and she and 2 of her friends were invited to Hutton's hotel room. She's a 14-year-old going out with a few girlfriends. What do you think young women will be attracted to? Men who have power, specifically more older men who have power. He was in his 20s. She was 14. Oh my gosh, he's so awesome. So again, it's one of those. She was a prime suspect if a situation like this was to occur. If he did do it, we need to not go after him. We just need to remove him from any and all things, because if this is what happens, the best thing that you can do for an actor like this is just nick him away. It's just stop paying attention to him. Let him die. Let him die, have no more roles. Because, again, you can go after somebody, but then that gives him more popularity. Again, just declare, this is what happened with. The way that I'm doing is probably not the right way of doing it. You could probably, maybe you have to go after him, but I think if you go after him, that gives him more press. The best thing I think you could do is just like cut him out from any and all activity. No, he's a rapist. He's been proven to have been a rapist. He's not a current rapist, but he has raped somebody. But maybe, what about this? What if, again, it's just one of those questions that I'm asking because of how many times there has been a false accusation. Oh, wait, Gloria Steinman biopic caught in crosshairs of Timothy Hutton rape accusation. Oh my gosh. It's just one of those things of, let me look at that article. Okay, I didn't read it yet, just opened it. Gloria Steinman biopic caught in the crosshairs of Timothy Hutton rape accusation. This was from March of this year, March 2nd. A harrowing, and this again from Variety, a harrowing accusation of rape against actor Timothy Hutton surfaced in a BuzzFeed story on Monday, raises questions about the new film in which he co-stars about the life activist icon Gloria... Wait, what? Raises questions about the new film in which he co-stars, gotcha. Activist icon Gloria Steinman. In an in-depth BuzzFeed report by Kate Arthur and I Don't Care, both have been since whatever, the Oscar-winning actor is accused of raping former model Sarah Johnson, okay, without the T this time, so apparently they've misspelt it twice in the other article. In 1983, when she was only 14, Hutton completely and unequivocally denied the accusations. Why are these in quotations? That's just weird. It's like, well, he did. Oh yeah, it's a little weird to me. It's just weird. It's like Hutton completely and unequivocally denied. It's not like he theoretically completely and unequivocally. He literally completely and unequivocally denied the allegations, unless you're using this as actual legitimate quotes from Timothy Hutton. It's just weird. Denied the accusations in the article, saying that the account was patently false. Okay, yeah, so it is quotations of what was actually said by Timothy Hutton. Actual quotations. So Hutton could become one of the numerous actors whose unreleased projects have been tainted by alleged sexual misconduct. Again, tainted by the allegation. Again, that's one of the, Kevin Spacey. Oh wait, including Kevin Spacey, who was placed in Ridley Scott's finished film All the Money in the World by Christopher Plummer, Jeffrey whatever, who was killed off by Amazon's popular series Transparent, following 2 accusations of misconduct on set, and Louis Kay, who paid $5 million to reacquire rights in his indie film I Love You Daddy, amid multiple allegations of sexual misconduct. Sexual misconduct, not rape. There's a big difference there. It's like, it's just like, if the activity, feminism is horrible. It really is. Oh, you hate women? That's the exact reason as to why I hate feminism. Oh, you must hate women. It's like, I hate the Black Lives Matter movement. Oh, you hate black people. I hate the LGBT movement. You hate... It's like, what? No, it's political. Feminism is political. So if you're political, I get to have a different opinion because of reason and evidence as to what I think is correct. And if everything is subjective, I'm not wrong. Don't try to change my opinion, unless there's objective rules in this world, meaning that if we were to look at objectivity between the genders, between the sexes, I don't think feminism would actually promote that. That's one of the reasons why, again, it's just more of a contradiction. And the most political I'll get into this video, it's just, I hate feminism. Oh, you must hate women. Fine. Freaking A. Fine. I hate fake women. Okay? No. You hate trans women? No, I hate fake women. A woman who pretends to be feminine, who acts like a man. It's like, so you mean a transgender? It's like, no, that's not what I said at all. Just somebody who, it's like, it's more of a gut reaction. It's like, you know who that is. You know when a woman is like, I don't need no man. It's like, okay, well, it sounds like a black woman. That's racist. Well, because I was the one that said it, I'd agree with you. But in honesty, everyone would guess that. It's like, I don't need no man. Men are horrible, and if like men are, feminism is a freaking hellhole. It really is. It turns women into barren. It turns women's wombs barren because it pushes men away. It really does, and the attitude against men, because it's just so stupid. Feminism's stupid. Feminism has done many grateful and amazing things in the world. No, it hasn't. It's not anymore. It's actually regressing. Anyways, with Timothy Hutton's accusation anything he touches now is being scarred. So again, the accusation of rape is more potent to somebody who has all this power. Again, let's just take this into an episode of Leverage. In the show Leverage, Nathan Ford is going after a person with so much power in Hollywood, Harvey Weinstein. He accuses of him of actual rape with a woman from 5 to 10 years ago, or within the margin of legal. I don't know what the statute of rape is, where you can come forward and claim it, and it actually still be a legitimate crime. I don't know if it's probably 30 years, 10 years, 5 years, not certain. You could probably come forth with it, and even though there might be not any, I don't know, probably 30 years. But Nathan Ford does that to Harvey Weinstein, or a Harvey Weinstein figure. And guess what? Harvey Weinstein, they figured out, oh, he actually raped 10 women. But they didn't know that before they did that. Now, imagine if they did a second episode where Nathan Ford and the entire crew do that to a billionaire, Elon Musk of a figure. And they accuse him of rape to get rid of him. And he was innocent of that, but he was accused of rape, and every single thing that is now touched with him, every single sponsor that ever wants, is now nicked. Nobody wants him. Nobody wants to do anything with it. That's how powerful this activity is. It's not like, oh, Timothy Hutton, he might have been a rapist. That's a horrible way of looking at it, in my opinion. Because if somebody says, I'm accusing you of being a bigot. Oh, he must be a bigot. Or, oh, he's possibly a bigot. It's like if somebody accuses me of being a racist. Online, I've had that happen to me multiple times. Well, then that must mean there's something that you have said or have done that makes you like that thing for somebody to have said it. And again, it goes back to this thing of, whoa. Shut up. It's like, let the adults handle the situation. No, you must be a racist. It's like, I've had that situation happen to me before. And that happened to me on Twitter. I've never touched Twitter since like 2015 or 2016, maybe 2017. That's been 3 to 5 years. Since that time, the last thing I ever remember doing on Twitter, I was having a conversation, a heated debate with somebody, and it's not a good option to do, a political heated debate on Twitter, and we were going back and forth with each other, and I was getting so angry. I don't remember what we were talking about, but the last thing I did is when he said that I was sexist or bigoted or homophobic. I think it was homophobic because I said that I was gay. I'm not gay, but I said it. And you could, from reading and how quickly he was responding, you could tell his mind blanked. He didn't know how to respond to me. And for the next 5 to 10 minutes, again, because we were just going at each other for like every post, comment, this, that, like you paused. And for 5 to 10 minutes, he wasn't posting. And then it's just like, he said, like, I'm sorry, I didn't know that you actually were. At that moment, he started to actually listen to my argument. He didn't care about who I was until I could get past that barrier of you're a rapist, you're a bigot, you're a homophobe, you're a Nazi, all these things. Are like, okay, fine, you want to play that game? I'm gay. You didn't need it's just... And then from that, I got 30 likes from my statement to actually make my point. And I don't think I got any of the likes because of my argument. I got the likes because I was gay. And it's just one of those like, oh my gosh, how do you have a conversation with somebody when they say, I won't even have a conversation with you? It's oh my gosh. Here's one last thing is, there is, on City of Heroes, an MMORPG that has private servers. It's a free MMORPG where you can play a superhero. I highly recommend downloading either Homecoming or Freedom, Freedom? Yeah, I think it's Freedom. Homecoming or Freedom, or there's 2 other servers that you can play. I highly recommend playing in it. We would love to have you. But somebody posted in the Looking For group chat, hey guys, I'm looking for people to join me in this group. But by the way, I don't want any racists. Or like, please no racism. And I was the first one to say something in the entire server. And I was like, whoa, wait. What? So you assume that there's racism, like, ravaging through the entire gameplay. I have never, ever had somebody talk about racism in the entire 5 years of gameplay. And if they did, we just ignored them. And then there was thousands of other players of just wanting to play. Just like one or two people not wanting to do it. And if anything, you just ignore them and you continue playing. You just never invite them again. That's just that simple. But they mentioned it. And it's like if you are with a group of friends or in an LGBT group, and you have a member, and it's just like a gigantic meeting. It's a convention with LGBT members, and and everybody's there is having fun, talking, chatting, talking about games and entertainment and movies that they've seen recently, and maybe even some politics here and there. And one person comes up to the entire, like, one group and says, "Hey guys, I'm going to be creating a what's a good thing? I'm going to be starting not a Monopoly game because, capitalism's evil in their world. Hey guys, I'm going to have a slam poetry, not slam poetry. I'm going to have a poetry night, and it's going to be tonight in about an hour. If you'd like to come, I just wanted to let you know, please don't invite racists." And everybody in the group is like, why would you say that? Why would you have to preface no racism? Why would you have to say that? Do you assume that I know racists? Do you assume that the LGBT group is infested with racists? Do you think that there's a promotion of racism? And if it's wrong, if it's subjective, it's not wrong. But I'm not defending it. It's just that if everything's subjective, if we all have subjective opinions, that there's no objectivity. But we all know that that's BS. Anyways, it's just the prefacing of somebody to having accused somebody of rape. And then he's immediately nicked. Nobody wants to deal with him. From the very words here is the word tainted. Hutton could Hutton could become one of the numerous actors whose unreleased projects have been tainted by alleged sexual misconduct. So it's Hutton's fault that he's being allegedly accused? What if it's false? Again, boom, tainted, get out of here, we don't want to deal with you. Financially and a business situation, that's the way to do it. If you want to actually make a lot of money as well, you defend him. But if you defend him, it's a flip of the coin, because if you defend somebody who is actually a rapist, I would actually say that you might be a rape enthusiast or something. It's like, maybe you're overlooking the actions because he might be a friend or he's good for business, and I wouldn't want to do business with that. So again, on a business sense, it's a good thing, but at the same time, if we go back to the very first thing, Leverage is getting rebooted by IMDb, and Nathan Ford is going to be replaced from Timothy Hutton to Noah Weil. I don't know who he is. I don't know what he's done. Actually, let's look at that. Okay, he's been in Donnie Darko. Okay, A Few Good Men. The Librarian? Dude, The Librarian with, Elliot Spencer, Christian Kane. I think they were together in that one. The Red Line, Romanoff's Librarians, Perfect Citizen, Adaptable, Drunk History. I haven't seen any of these movies. ER I've heard of. My goodness, there's a lot of movies that he's been in. Probably like one-shot movies he's been in. Yeah, A Few Good Men. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Blind Faith I've probably heard of. The Librarian. I don't know, I probably want to watch The Librarian. It sounds kind of cool. But again, it's that whole thing of Noah Weil taking the role of Nathan Ford rather than having Nathan Ford sit on the sidelines. And if at any point that the allegations come up, they can edit an episode and show like he died. Like we killed him in the best way possible or something. If he was actually proven to have, or let's just say not really proven, but declared guilty, because you can be guilty of something without actually having done it. Now, I doubt that, I don't know what the percentage is. It's probably like 10%, 1% that actually does that. But again, when proven that Timothy Hutton has been accused, that has been credible allegations of rape have been solidified. Boom, guilty. Then you can kill him off in the show or something in a horrible way, and Sophie Devereaux, or maybe, just maybe, you can make Nathan Ford into a drunk beat up Sophie Devereaux for like one horrible scene, which it's incredibly out of character. But then Sophie Devereaux had called Noah Weil to come beat him up, and they struggled, and then he shot Nathan Ford. Nathan Ford died, and then Noah is now Sophie's new partner or something. It's just like because of that saving that they're now instantly having this connection or something. Now, again, that would totally spit in the previous Leverage show. It really would. I think it would poop on it. But if he actually is, if it's credible, if it's not credible, credibility has nothing to do with it, because it can sound like she was raped, but maybe she was at 14, she was uncomfortable with having sex. So maybe maybe, like Hutton said, hey, do you want to have sex? Maybe he didn't know she was 14. Maybe she looked a little bit older. Maybe he knew that she was 14, still wanted to have sex because he's now becoming a little bit more famous doing what he's doing, so he's getting that more like power, like maybe like what boundaries can I push? So maybe it was more statutory rape because consensual sex, but with a minor. So again, those are two different things. One is forcible sex. The other one is you were too young to have had sex with you. So there's a distinct difference. And I need to know that. I want to know that. If it was that she was too young, if it was that Johnson, not Johnston, the two misspellings that they have here, if Sarah Johnson, was simply younger, and it was statutory rape, if I have the correct definition, where she was too young, not forced. Maybe she went to go have sex with Hutton because her friends said, let's do it, and to do it would mean that she's popular with her friends. Where's that conversation? Again, it's such an issue for me. Ah, man. Dang, man. Again, I'm not defending the guy if he did it. But the thing is, we don't know. I'm not going to take one side or the other because if this guy is innocent, or no, not if he's innocent. Innocent until proven guilty, not maybe he did it. Okay, maybe he did it, I think, is a possibility. But if we're going to go with possibilities, what if he didn't? That would be the most fair thing. Saying he is innocent until he's proven guilty. But again, what if we just put on hold his activities, go into the original show, and saying, wait, before we start messing with the original Nathan Ford and changing his character to a different actor, what if we just put in a different person? So if Timothy Hutton is been falsely accused of rape, and it was proven that he was innocent of any and all accusations against him, when he can come back to Leverage, he has his character intact. They respect the original character in the original 2008 series for the last 5 seasons that they've created with the character. And then he can come back in maybe the second season of the new Leverage show. And again, I didn't know I was going to go down this rabbit hole, but if he did it, that sucks. I don't know what I'm going to think about it. I really don't, because I love the show, but I don't know if I'm going to ever watch it again. If I do watch it again, it's like you can watch The Cosby Show, but you're still not in support of rape. It's like, but it's one of those things that if I watch him, I might have that distinct feeling about it, but I can also remember what the show was, despite me having known about something. And then that could be like, I can respect the characters, even though I might not like it anymore. Maybe I want to remember it more than actually watch it, and maybe just put it on my shelf and remember the fond memories of watching all 5 seasons 3 to 5 times, just binge watching it. And again, binge watched, not took time in between an episode each week, or 3 months today, and then in 1 week I'll watch four more episodes. No. Binged watching from start to finish. I love the show. Yeah. So, it really does suck. Because either way, I wouldn't say like either way I'm losing. Either way, we've pointed out the bullshit that's happening, so it actually makes us winners. Because it's important to know that you have failed or you lost something. But you can't end off with having lost something. It's like, we did lose, but you know what? What good thing that could come from this is the ridiculousness of all this, regardless of whether or not he was actually credibly accused or falsely accused, is that we can go to the story here and showcase how there's a better way of writing the story that I, as a person who loves the show, that is not the creator of the original show, I didn't know that they were going to create a new one. Maybe I should have called them. Maybe that's something that I could have done. But if I can at least post this video and it can get out to a few people, I would have done my job. It's that they could have done so much better with this new 13-episode Leverage show, the 2020, I don't know if it's 2020 or 2021 episode series show, that they could respect the original Nathan Ford and come out with an entirely new character that is badass, interesting, and has much depth. You could have that. I'd love to see that. I'd pay to see that. I'm actually looking for a Leverage all 5 seasons on DVD, but they're like running $80+ for the entire series. They're not making that series anymore. I'm trying to find it now. Maybe I need to go to HBO or whatever they actually created the show. Maybe I can find it. And that's just on eBay. I'm trying to find someplace else, but again, the minimum price that I found is about $80. Let me see if I can find something right now. If I go to eBay on my phone, I always check eBay because I like purchasing just discounted steelbooks, steelbook, Blu-ray DVD, 4K DVDs, like Disney Cinderella. Like it's about $13, free shipping. There's like one for $9, free shipping. But I'm going to be going on for a trip. I'd love to buy it. I would love to buy it. But I am going to be going somewhere, and I'm not going to be here when it is delivered. And I don't know how it's going to be delivered, and it's usually been at my door, and I don't know if it's with UPS, or I don't really know until the very last moment. I just don't want to deal with the logistics. Okay, so let's look up Leverage complete series, and I'm going to sort it through lowest price. Yep, Season 4. Season 2 is about $10. Season 4, $40 from the United Kingdom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is for $82.14. DVD Region 4, the complete series, is $104.83 from Canada. Free shipping. Woohoo! $110, $95, $105, $125, $150, so on and so forth. It's ridiculous how much money you have to pay to get the original series. Now, fortunately, I don't need to purchase it to watch it, but the way that I do it, and it's totally legal and above board, just trust me on that. Oh, wink. But again, I want to get the original show because I don't want them to, because this is something that has happened, is that they're now editing, deleting, they're modifying history by taking away some entertainment and modifying it. Let me find the actual one last article. Here we go. Fans petition for Disney to stop casting white people in roles for people of color. Okay? You know how shitty of a thing that is? Okay? Because it's not about casting a person as a role, because I don't view them as white. They could be Indian, okay? I don't care. Like, do they look right, about right? Doesn't matter to me. It's, again, that's the whole point about being an actor. And more importantly, within a... Yeah. The Simpsons has to... Simpsons to stop having white actors play non-white characters. So let me say this one more. Let me say this. The reason why I think the ridiculousness of everything that's happening right now. The reason that I'm trying to find the Leverage series is that the Leverage series might be in trouble. The original 2008 5-season episode might be in trouble because if Timothy Hutton's accusation is credible, they might pull the original Leverage and might not produce it anymore because they don't want to be associated with that. Maybe with the Leverage new series. Maybe there's going to be no more that's going to be created. Maybe they're going to try to like ban it or something. Maybe they'll modify the original because they have the rights to do that. They have the original files. So if they produce it again, they might reboot it with a little bit different here and there. But I want the original because the original is what I fell in love with. It had nothing to do with rape. But because of the association with Timothy Hutton being accused of rape, if it falls through, which would suck on all levels, that A, he did it. Again, the possibility that he did it, like 98% chance that he did it, but he did it. Let's just go with that assumption. Number 2, that would put an entire dampen on the entire Leverage franchise, and maybe a good reason as to why they would recast the character. Maybe they just have him die off or something from just Sophie comes back from whatever, but that Simpsons, a non-physical character base, non-physical characteristics you have to apply. You as a black person, you have no right to play white people. That's the statement that's happening. They're saying white people can't play non-white characters. Well, black people, stay in your lane. That's what they're saying, and it's bullshit. It's bullshit. The LGBT, Black Lives Matter, Antifa groups, every single one of them have been trying to progress, but each and every single time that they try to do anything, they regress. The leftist woke mob on Twitter, the people who saying, I'm trying to do good for black people, or let's just say non-white people, play non-white characters. White people, stay in your roles. Asians, you stay in your roles. But more importantly, white characters, there is no Icelandic, there's no Swedish, there's no Germany, there's no French. You're all just white. There's nothing that distincts you from somebody else. You black people, you're just black, or a person of color, you're an Asian, or you're a yellow person. Will they ever say that? That's bullshit. If you ever say that, and I'm sorry I'm going off on a tirade, and this is something that I don't like at all. This is nothing political. If you are on the wrong side of history, it's saying that you black people stay in your lane as a black person. You can only play black characters. As a voice actor that puts you on a higher plane, that you can reimagine any character. If you are not black, if you are black, only play black characters. Guess what that means? Samurai Jack, let me get to the link, is that Samurai Jack being played by Phil LaMarr. Phil LaMarr is a black person who played literally a Japanese, I'm assuming Japanese, maybe Chinese, but I'm assuming Japanese. I don't really remember what the culture was, but the show is amazing. I was surprised after maybe the third season a decade ago, or maybe not a decade ago, I think it was like 5 years ago. I didn't know who the voice actor was. I didn't care. The whole show, I grew up. I think it was like I was 12 years old when Samurai Jack came out. I loved it. It was simple. We had the main character going after the villain. It was amazing. Phil LaMarr, being a black man, when you say this statement, Simpsons, to stop having white actors play non-white characters, I want to make certain that every single person who believes this bullshit needs to also say, Phil LaMarr, you stop playing non-black roles. Get in your lane, you black man. That's what they're saying. They're bullshit racists. They're full-fledged racists. It's absolutely ridiculous that this activity, including, again, the credibility or falsehood of this accusation, I'm uncertain with. But if Timothy Hutton has ever is accused of rape, that anybody is accused of rape, regardless of whether or not you did it, they're not taking into account that maybe it was statutory rape. I don't know the information. I'm assuming that because she was with her two friends, that she had sex with them because she felt pressured by her friends in a social setting to do it. It's not that he forced her down. It's that she was pressured socially, that if I don't do it, my friends might not like me. That could be something credible that sucked in her situation. But you don't come to Hutton and say like, hey, you raped me. Oh no, there's a big distinct difference. There was statutory rape and I was too young and I was too naive for that to have happened. Or you actually held me down and raped me, laughing, drinking beer, and high-fiving your friend. Holy crap. Again, I have to keep saying it, I'm not defending the guy if he did it. We don't know. The accusation itself, just like saying that Simpsons, you have to stop playing white actors. You, as Phil LaMarr, stop playing that guy. Aku. Oh, they're the same actor? No. Oh, no. Okay, I think that's, okay. I thought they were the same actor for a second. Like, that didn't make any sense. Movie Dream Team. Yeah, you know, this actor, I've seen him before. I'm trying to remember the movies that he's been in. There's one movie, freaking Geek Tyrant. Let's look that up because I don't know what's gonna pop up. But it was, and there's one more thing. Movie Dream Team, the plot. I want to see the actors. Jack the Scotsman, directors, the cast. John Digo did Amazing Scotchman. John Domingo. I don't know. Bridget Perfect. Okay. Two things. Oh, Brian T. What? Has the two things that it takes to be. One, he has the look. Perfect. Yeah, he does have the look. He has a very strong, distinct chin. Yes, he does. So Brian T. What was he a part of? Let me pause and get to that real quick. Okay, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Jurassic World, The Wolverine, The Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift. All those movies, I would say, aren't great, but Jurassic World, I think, was amazing. I haven't seen The Wolverine, Teenage Mutant Turtles. I've heard that was pretty bad. And The Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift, I think was an okay film. I haven't watched it, but from what I heard, it was a pretty good film. So let's see if any movies that I've actually seen. Jurassic World, loves Rush Hour 4. I've never seen any of the Rush Hours. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Oh, no, I'm thinking of somebody else. Yeah. He's the guy. Fractured House. Isn't he the guy that develops the powers? Wait, what episode was it? A Fractured House, The World Turns Against S.H.I.E.L.D. when Hydra impersonates... Oh, by the way, they impersonate... Oh, yeah! That actor who played in White Collar. Legends, The Lottery, Roast... I've seen him from somewhere. I think it was from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I thought it was before that. The Wolverine. I've seen him in a few things. Burn Notice. I've seen him. Bloodlines. Oh, I so remember this one. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Crap, which one was it? Bloodlines. Oh, he looks so familiar. He really does. It's just there's one film. What was the film that I've seen him in? Lie to Me, The Bodyguard. Yes, that's the movie. Okay. In the show, Lie to Me, is he the brother? Because I think he's the brother. Brian T. Bodyguard. Yeah, he's the bodyguard. If you go to Lie to Me, I think this is episode 2 or something. It's like the first season, it should be. Let me go back here. Brian T. He was in 2009. I'm assuming that's the first... Yeah. Lie to Me is 2009 to 2011, so it was in the first season. So if you go to the first season and Love Always, there was the entire show was about him. But I've seen Brian T. over and over and over again. I might be thinking of a different actor. I might be thinking of a different actor. Oh, I'm so thinking of a different actor. Which actor am I thinking about? Give me 1 second to figure that out. Okay, I went through 100 top 100 Asian actors. I couldn't find him. I would have loved to find the actor that I'm actually thinking about. He looks like specifically, what's his name? Brian T. He looks specifically like Brian T. He has the mustache and everything, but he's so different. Again, he might have a little bit more of darker skin, and I might be remembering him incredibly wrong. I'm trying to remember what the freaking movie that he was from. Man, I'm all over the place right now, so I might be incredibly wrong here. I don't know. Your racism is showing. Probably. Who knows? Oh, man, that's hilarious. Oh, man. But I'd love to see Brian T. as Samurai Jack in a live-action film. I think that would be awesome. If they could dub Brian T.'s voice with whatever his name is. Who played him? What was it? Freaking A? Not Brian. Oh, Phil Lamar. If they could dub Brian T.'s face with Phil Lamar's voice, I would be the happiest person in the entire world if they could make a real-life version of Samurai Jack, even if it was just a movie one-off or a scene. Just one amazing scene that they can make as close to as possible, and they don't spend that much money, but maybe for like 5, 10, 15 minutes. That's it. That's all they spend the time on. That's as long as it gets. That would be amazing. I would buy that thing in a jiffy. I would buy that thing outright. I'd be first in line. If not, I don't know. But I'd love to see that. But somebody to say that white actors can't play non-white characters, well, the same thing as black characters. Stay in your lane, bud, because you can't play anything else. There's the white line, there's the black line. So, I think it's the same thing with Asians. Again, there's whites, blacks, and Asians. So it's what I love to say. There's a little joke that I've made up. It's probably untasteful and unfunny, but I find it hilarious. Is that if you're doing stand up and you're in front of the entire audience, you say, hey everybody, I just have one question before we get started. How many white people we have in here? Like, oh, look at all those pasty white people. I want pasty white people to raise your hands. Yeah, and no, you're white. Okay, raise your hands. Cool. Now, what I want every single person that is a no. You first start off. I'm sorry, I butchered the joke. You first start out with you say like anybody who's a person of color, just please raise your hand. Don't worry. And if you're white with a tan, that doesn't count. Okay, just want to make certain. Okay. Now what I want is I want all the people to raise their hands. And it's like, oh wait, they raise their hands. Oh no, you're not a people. Because you're a person of color. You're distinctly not a type of person. You're a type of person, but not a person. It's like, to point out the freaking flaw of saying the word person of color or colored person, it's the same thing. It's you're saying, hey, white, and if I say a white person, because there could be a white person who's Icelandic, a white person who's German, a white person who's France, and they're not the same thing at all. A white person who's a country boy from Idaho, holy crap, they're not the same thing. I mean, because there's a different culture in that area. But just because you have a certain skin color or culture you practice doesn't make you either good or bad. There are cultures that matter, not your color, not your skin, not your ethnicity. What matters is the culture that you practice. And it's to respect the cultures that you have come from, but we need to go towards what a better culture is, so on and so forth. I could probably get myself in trouble. But when you call somebody white, you're not declaring anything that has anything to do with ancestry, because a white person has different ancestors than another white person. They really do. They have different experiences. One white person has nothing to do with another white person who is on the other side of the street in a different part of the town. There's no, like, what? Like, they're different everything. And the same thing with, like, you being a white person, you're grouped in here. You as a black person, you're grouped here. I identify people as either being black or white, and there's, George Takei. I think he was accused of raping a guy, a younger kid. Probably should have been of age. I'm trying to look for one person. John Scott Lee is not. Priyanka Chopra, she does not look Asian. But that's the point. Is that Mashe Babu? That's an awesome last name. Yeah, Babu from Aladdin. I'm trying to look for the guy. But there's a bunch of people on here who are considered quote-unquote Asian. Yeong Ai Lee is as Asian as you can get. She looks Asian. But if you look right here, Rashid Deshpande, she doesn't look Indian. That's a very Indian name, but she doesn't look like she would have anything to do with Bollywood at all, like, to me. But at the same time, what does that have anything to do with anything? And again, when it comes to voice acting specifically, face acting, that's a little bit different. But with voice acting, you're just taking the voice. And you can act however you act, however other people... It doesn't matter what your freaking skin is, guys. It's freaking racist to say white people, you can't act with non-white roles, because the exact same thing is black people, you can't act non-white roles. And if you're saying white people can't act non-white roles, but you black people, you can act with whatever. It's just white people stop doing what you're doing. That's even more racist, because you're not making a double standard. It's just flat out racism. When you make a double standard for racism, you're justifying a racist activity you believe isn't racist, and you're plugging your ears and saying, no, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm big, you're little, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm big, you're little, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that's a quote from Matilda. I love that scene. I absolutely love it. I'm going to find that scene. It might copyright strike or ban my entire channel outright, so I won't do that. Not my channel, but maybe block my video so I won't play it. But I love that scene. And this all started, man. This all started from Leverage, getting a reboot. Again, I have some criticisms. we went through a whole slew of topics today. A whole lot of things. Well, one thing is, I'll end it off right here. There's a lot of things that went off, and one question that I leave off with y'all, and I would love to hear the answer is, with Leverage is getting the reboot. One question I have is, excuse me, Noah Weil is going to be replacing Timothy Hutton's character, Nathan Ford, and Noah Weil is going to play Nathan Ford. A question I have is, what do you think, what character can Noah Weil play, or what character can there be, what backstory, what motivations, what is his purpose and his goals and objectives, what conflicts that arise, what is a new character that Noah Weil can play, leaving Nathan Ford alone off screen? Maybe Noah Weil and Nathan Ford, Noah's character and Timothy's character, maybe both of them, their characters in the show Leverage, can have a past. But leaving Timothy Hutton's character, Nathan Ford, alone. So what would be a new character with Noah Weil? And what would be a history, a background? Where would he be going? What do you want to see? What would be a possibility that would be pretty cool? I'd love to read that. That's something I would love to see from y'all. So thank you for being a part of this. This has been a very much longer video than I expected to make it. Enjoyed my time. I got some things off my chest. And I'm glad. Just like dump it on you. Dump. Somebody call the fire department, because we gotta fire. If you need to call the fire department because of how much of after a poop, you need to go to the hospital. That is an issue. Something is wrong. Dang. So thank you for being a part of this. Please post your comments, questions, and concerns right down below. Please smash that like button. That would help this channel out. And please consider hitting that subscribe button, because if you'd like to see more of this content, I'd love to have you. I'd love to bring you on board. I'd love to share these videos with you. I'd love to share this time with you. That would be that'd be so nice. That would be amazing. But most importantly, please enjoy the rest of your day. That's a very great thing that I'd love to have you do. Enjoy your day. Get what you can from it. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.